Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we're looking at the gradient-intercept form of the equation of a line, also known as slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. Okay, so the form is y equals mx plus c. You might have seen it as mx plus b, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of examples. Firstly, write down the equation of a line with gradient -2 and y-intercept -6. Well, that's pretty easy. We just need to write y equals the gradient times x plus the y-intercept, and there's our equation. The next example, state the gradient and y-intercept of these equations. Well, here we have x out of 2. We can rewrite that as a 1 times x, and then we can see that the slope is half times x minus 3. So the gradient is half, the y-intercept is -3. In this example, it's not in slope-intercept form, it's actually in general, what we call general form. So we need to solve for y. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides, rewrite it as 3y equals -2x plus 6. And then we need to solve for y, so we're going to divide by 3. And we can divide both these terms by 3 and get -2/3 x plus 6 out of 3, which is 2. So your, let me write it over here. Your gradient is -2/3 and your y-intercept is 2. Actually, I should probably use the term c like I wrote in the equation up above for the y-intercept. Okay, and this one here, we just need to divide each term, so we're going to have y equals, now 6 divided by 2 is 3, minus 5 out of 2x, so you can see the gradient is -5 out of 2, the y-intercept is 3. Okay, in these examples here, we're going to find the equation of each line, and we can see the y-intercept is right there. And the slope, we can look at rise over run, so that's going to be +2. And this is 3, so we're going back over here, and that's -3. So your slope, or your gradient, is 2 out of -3, which is the same as -2/3. And your y-intercept is +2. So we can write y equals -2/3 x plus 2 is the equation. In our next example, we can see that the y-intercept is 3 and the slope is, well, we're going to go up 2 from this point and write 5. So our gradient is 2/5. So y equals 2/5 plus 3 is the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Okay, next it says find the equation of the line with gradient -2 that passes through this point. So all we know at this point is that the gradient is -2. So we have y equals -2x plus the y-intercept, which is c. So in order to figure out the y-intercept, we're actually going to substitute this point into the equation. We're going to substitute -3 for x and 5 for y. So we have 5 equals -2 times -3 plus c. 5 equals 6 plus c, so c equals 5 minus 6, which equals -1. So our equation in slope-intercept form is -2x minus 1. That's slope, or gradient, call that gradient. Gradient intercept form. Okay, so that is for, if we put it in this form, we can see the gradient and we can see the intercept there. So that's why it's called gradient intercept form. If the question were to ask you to write it in general form, I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, general form is just some number a times x plus some constant b times y equals another constant or another number. So if you were to write that in general form, we would have to get x on the other side of the equation. So we have y plus 2x equals -1, or the same thing, 2x plus y equals -1. That's the general form. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of these here. We're going to write out 3 pieces of information and draw a sketch of the line. So here right away you can see it's in gradient intercept form, so you can see the y-intercept is -3, gradient is 2. Now how do we get the x-intercept? Well, at the x-intercept, the y value equals 0. Okay, so we're going to put in y equals 0 here and solve for x. So we get x equals, or 2x equals 3. X equals 3 out of 2 is the x-intercept. And if we want to sketch that, remember sketch means we don't need to use a ruler. So we have a y, oops, I should draw a little bit straighter than that. So I'm going to draw my axes here. And I'm going to use another color. So my y-intercept is -3. I'm going to go down 3. And I'll call this x and y for the axes. So I have an x-intercept of -3. So that's y-intercept of -3. My x-intercept is 3/2, which equals 1.5. So let me go over to 1.5. My gradient is 2, but actually I have the x-intercept, y-intercept. That's all you need to draw the line. So it's going to look like that. Or you could have used the y-intercept and the slope to also draw the line. Either way. So the next example again, you have to let y equals 0 to get the x-intercept. So we do that. We get 2x equals 1. So x equals half is the x-intercept, and the y-intercept is just 1. The slope or the gradient is -2, and we can sketch that pretty easily. That's x and y. Let's change to blue. So the y-intercept is 1. Oops, so it's right there. Well, I can do the x-intercept as half, but that's not so easy to graph. So I'm actually going to use a gradient and go down 2 and go right 1. So that is like -2 out of 1. So I'm going to go down 2, right 1, and there I am. I can go down 2 and right 1 again, and I get another point. So your graph should look something like that. Okay, and maybe you want to label actually some of your points here, like that one, and I can label this point up here as 3 out of 2, 0, and 0, -3. Okay, and the next last example here, we want to find the x-intercept. Same procedure, y equals 0. So we have 0 equals half x plus 1. We have half x equals -1. To get rid of that half, we're going to multiply by 2. We get x equals -2 is the x-intercept. The y-intercept directly from the equation is 1. Gradient is half. So in this case, I'm going to use the x-intercept and the y-intercept to graph. So I'm going to write it like that. And so that'll be easy to do. I just draw 2 points and connect the points. So what do I need here? I need x equals -2, so that's over here. Y equals 1 is up there, and I can draw the line. There you go. So that is the equation. Y equals half x plus 1. Up here, that was the equation. We should probably label the line. Y equals 2x minus 3.